Welcome to the Bible in a Year reading plan. Together we will read through the entire Bible. A portion from the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs every day. Today's reading is in the video image. Read along, listen daily, and grow in the Word. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay on track with us daily. And you can always go back to previous videos if you miss any days. Numbers 14. That night all the members of the community raised their voices and wept aloud. 2 All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole assembly said to them, "If only we had died in Egypt, or in this wilderness. 3 Why is the Lord bringing us to this land only to let us fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be taken as plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to go back to Egypt?" 4 And they said to each other, "We should choose a leader and go back to Egypt." 5 Then Moses and Aaron fell face down in front of the whole Israelite assembly gathered there. 6 Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes. 7 And said to the entire Israelite assembly, "The land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good." 8 If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. 9 Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not be afraid of the people of the land, because we will devour them. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. 10 But the whole assembly talked about stoning them. Then the glory of the Lord appeared at the tent of meeting to all the Israelites. 11 The Lord said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me with contempt? How long will they refuse to believe in me, in spite of all the signs I have performed among them?" 12 I will strike them down with a plague and destroy them, but I will make you into a nation greater and stronger than they. 13 Moses said to the Lord, "Then the Egyptians will hear about it. By your power you brought these people up from among them." 14 And they will tell the inhabitants of this land about it. They have already heard that you, Lord, are with these people, and that you, Lord, have been seen face to face, that your cloud stays over them, and that you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. 15 If you put all these people to death, leaving none alive, the nations who have heard this report about you will say, 16 The Lord was not able to bring these people into the land he promised them on oath, so he slaughtered them in the wilderness. 17 Now may the Lord's strength be displayed, just as you have declared. 18 The Lord is slow to anger, abounding in love and forgiving sin and rebellion. Yet he does not leave the guilty unpunished. He punishes the children for the sin of the parents to the 3rd and 4th generation. 19 In accordance with your great love, forgive the sin of these people, just as you have pardoned them from the time they left Egypt until now. 20 The Lord replied, "I have forgiven them, as you asked." 21 Nevertheless, as surely as I live and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth. 22 Not one of those who saw my glory and the signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness, but who disobeyed me and tested me 10 times. 23 Not one of them will ever see the land I promised on oath to their ancestors. No one who has treated me with contempt will ever see it. 24 But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it. 25 Since the Amalekites and the Canaanites are living in the valleys, turn back tomorrow and set out toward the desert along the route to the Red Sea. 26 The Lord said to Moses and Aaron. 27 How long will this wicked community grumble against me? I have heard the complaints of these grumbling Israelites. 28 So tell them, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very thing I heard you say. 29 In this wilderness your bodies will fall, every one of you 20 years old or more who was counted in the census and who has grumbled against me. 30 Not one of you will enter the land I swore with uplifted hand to make your home, except Caleb son of Jephunneh and Joshua son of Nun. 31 As for your children that you said would be taken as plunder, I will bring them in to enjoy the land you have rejected. 32 But as for you, your bodies will fall in this wilderness. 33 Your children will be shepherds here for 40 years. suffering for your unfaithfulness, until the last of your bodies lies in the wilderness. 34 For 40 years, 1 year for each of the 40 days you explored the land, you will suffer for your sins and know what it is like to have me against you. 35 I, the Lord, have spoken, and I will surely do these things to this whole wicked community, which has banded together against me. They will meet their end in this wilderness. Here they will die. 36 So the men Moses had sent to explore the land, who returned and made the whole community grumble against him by spreading a bad report about it. 37 These men who were responsible for spreading the bad report about the land were struck down and died of a plague before the Lord. 38 Of the men who went to explore the land, only Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Jephunneh survived. 39 When Moses reported this to all the Israelites, they mourned bitterly. 40 Early the next morning they set out for the highest point in the hill country, saying, Now we are ready to go up to the land the Lord promised. Surely we have sinned. 41 But Moses said, Why are you disobeying the Lord's command? This will not succeed. 42 Do not go up, because the Lord is not with you. You will be defeated by your enemies. 43 For the Amalekites and the Canaanites will face you there. Because you have turned away from the Lord, He will not be with you and you will fall by the sword. 44 Nevertheless, in their presumption they went up toward the highest point in the hill country, though neither Moses nor the ark of the Lord's covenant moved from the camp. 45 Then the Amalekites and the Canaanites who lived in that hill country came down and attacked them and beat them down all the way to Hormah. Numbers 15 The Lord said to Moses, To speak to the Israelites and say to them, After you enter the land I am giving you as a home 3 And you present to the Lord food offerings from the herd or the flock, as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, whether burnt offerings or sacrifices, for special vows or freewill offerings or festival offerings. For then the person who brings an offering shall present to the Lord a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of olive oil. 5 With each lamb for the burnt offering or the sacrifice, prepare 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. 6 With a ram prepare a grain offering of 2/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of olive oil. 7 And 1/3 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. Offer it as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. 8 When you prepare a young bull as a burnt offering or sacrifice, for a special vow or a fellowship offering to the Lord. 9 Bring with the bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of the finest flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of olive oil. 10 And also bring 1/2 a hin of wine as a drink offering. This will be a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. 11 Each bull or ram, each lamb or young goat, is to be prepared in this manner. 12 Do this for each one, for as many as you prepare. 13 Everyone who is native-born must do these things in this way when they present a food offering as an aroma pleasing to the Lord. 14 For the generations to come, whenever a foreigner or anyone else living among you presents a food offering as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, they must do exactly as you do. 15 The community is to have the same rules for you and for the foreigner residing among you. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. You and the foreigner shall be the same before the Lord. 16 The same laws and regulations will apply both to you and to the foreigner residing among you. 17 The Lord said to Moses. 18 Speak to the Israelites and say to them, When you enter the land to which I am taking you. 19 And you eat the food of the land, present a portion as an offering to the Lord. 20 Present a loaf from the first of your ground meal and present it as an offering from the threshing floor. 21 Throughout the generations to come you are to give this offering to the Lord from the first of your ground meal. Offerings for unintentional sins. 22 Now if you as a community unintentionally fail to keep any of these commands the Lord gave Moses. 23 Any of the Lord's commands to you through him, from the day the Lord gave them and continuing through the generations to come. 24 And if this is done unintentionally without the community being aware of it, then the whole community is to offer a young bull for a burnt offering as an aroma pleasing to the Lord, along with its prescribed grain offering and drink offering, and a male goat for a sin offering. 25 The priest is to make atonement for the whole Israelite community, and they will be forgiven. for it was not intentional, and they have presented to the Lord for their wrong a food offering and a sin offering. 26 The whole Israelite community and the foreigners residing among them will be forgiven, because all the people were involved in the unintentional wrong. 27 But if just one person sins unintentionally, that person must bring a year-old female goat for a sin offering. 28 The priest is to make atonement before the Lord for the one who erred by sinning unintentionally, and when atonement has been made, that person will be forgiven. 29 1 And the same law applies to everyone who sins unintentionally, whether a native-born Israelite or a foreigner residing among you. 30 But anyone who sins defiantly, whether native-born or foreigner, blasphemes the Lord and must be cut off from the people of Israel. 31 Because they have despised the Lord's word and broken his commands, they must surely be cut off, their guilt remains on them. The Sabbath breaker put to death. 32 While the Israelites were in the wilderness, a man was found gathering wood on the Sabbath day. 33 Those who found him gathering wood brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole assembly. 34 And they kept him in custody, because it was not clear what should be done to him. 35 Then the Lord said to Moses, the man must die. The whole assembly must stone him outside the camp. 36 So the assembly took him outside the camp and stoned him to death, as the Lord commanded Moses, tassels on garments. 37 The Lord said to Moses, 38 Speak to the Israelites and say to them, throughout the generations to come you are to make tassels on the corners of your garments, with a blue cord on each tassel. 39 You will have these tassels to look at, and so you will remember all the commands of the Lord, that you may obey them and not prostitute yourselves by chasing after the lusts of your own hearts and eyes. 40 Then you will remember to obey all my commands and will be consecrated to your God. 41 I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. Mark 5 They went across the lake to the region of the Gerasenes. 2 When Jesus got out of the boat, a man with an impure spirit came from the tombs to meet him. 3 This man lived in the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain. 4 For he had often been chained hand and foot, but he tore the chains apart and broke the irons on his feet. No one was strong enough to subdue him. 5 Night and day among the tombs and in the hills he would cry out and cut himself with stones. 6 When he saw Jesus from a distance, he ran and fell on his knees in front of him. 7 He shouted at the top of his voice, What do you want with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? In God's name don't torture me. 8 For Jesus had said to him, Come out of this man, you impure spirit. 9 Then Jesus asked him, What is your name? My name is Legion, he replied, for we are many. 10 And he begged Jesus again and again not to send them out of the area. 11 A large herd of pigs was feeding on the nearby hillside. 12 The demons begged Jesus, Send us among the pigs, allow us to go into them. 13 He gave them permission, and the impure spirits came out and went into the pigs. The herd, about 2,000 in number, rushed down the steep bank into the lake and were drowned. 14 Those tending the pigs ran off and reported this in the town and countryside, and the people went out to see what had happened. 15 When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had been possessed by the legion of demons, sitting there, dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. 16 Those who had seen it told the people what had happened to the demon-possessed man, and told about the pigs as well. 17 Then the people began to plead with Jesus to leave their region. 18 As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon-possessed begged to go with him. 19 Jesus did not let him, but said, Go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you, and how he has had mercy on you. 20 So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him. And all the people were amazed. Psalm 53 The fool says in his heart, There is no God. They are corrupt, and their ways are vile. There is no one who does good. 2 God looks down from heaven on all mankind to see if there are any who understand, any who seek God. 3 Everyone has turned away. All have become corrupt. There is no one who does good, Not even 1.4 Do all these evildoers know nothing? They devour my people as though eating bread. They never call on God. 5 But there they are, overwhelmed with dread, where there was nothing to dread. God scattered the bones of those who attacked you. You put them to shame, for God despised them. 60 That salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When God restores his people, let Jacob rejoice and Israel be glad. Proverbs 22. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. 2 Rich and poor have this in common: the Lord is the maker of them all. 3 The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. 4 Humility is the fear of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. 5 In the paths of the wicked are snares and pitfalls, but those who would preserve their life stay far from them. 6 Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old they will not turn from it. 7 The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. 8 Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, and the rod they wield in fury will be broken. 9 The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. 10 Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. 11 One who loves a pure heart and who speaks with grace will have the king for a friend. 12 The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. 13 The sluggard says, "There's a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square." 14 The mouth of an adulterous woman is a deep pit. A man who is under the Lord's wrath falls into it. 15 Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far away. 16 One who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich both come to poverty. 30 Sayings of the wise. Saying 117 Pay attention and turn your ear to the sayings of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach. 18 For it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart and have all of them ready on your lips. 19 So that your trust may be in the Lord, I teach you today, even you. 20 Have I not written 30 sayings for you, sayings of counsel and knowledge? 21 Teaching you to be honest and to speak the truth, so that you bring back truthful reports to those you serve? Saying 22 Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court. 23 For the Lord will take up their case and will exact life for life. Saying 324 Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered. 25 Where you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. Saying 426 Do not be one who shakes hands in pledge or puts up security for debts. 27 If you lack the means to pay, your very bed will be snatched from under you. Saying 528 Do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your ancestors. Saying 629 Do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of low rank. Thanks for reading with me today. Come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Bible. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the next day.